Hello, fellow cyborgs. Today I would like to discuss with you book hauls. So there have been quite a number of book hauls on my channel, and most recently a very large one. I have been thinking about book hauls, why we watch them, why we love watching them, why we make them, why they happen, all sorts of things. I'm working on a ridiculously intricate blog discussion about it, so I will link that down below when it exists. And I really wanted to ask some questions, and please in the comments down below discuss them with me. I have a lot more questions than I have answers here, but I think it's important to be asking them. I tried to do some research into this, but there's not a lot. So one of the big things that I've been asking myself is, why do we love watching book hauls? I myself love watching book hauls. I subscribe to 24 maybe booktubers, and if anyone has a book haul video, that's the first one that I watch. I may drop what I'm doing and watch this, yet I don't know why. I am not a huge consumer. The only things that I buy regularly or at all are books. Who wants to admit that they're a big consumer, that they're a consumer whore, right? I certainly don't. But anyway, I really don't think that that's a big aspect of myself that contributes to why I love watching book haul videos. Some of the reasons that I came up with are, you learn about new products, you learn about new books, you learn about new trends, you learn about things that you yourself might enjoy. These books that these booktubers have purchased are also books that they want to read so badly that they've already spent money on them. I have a huge TBR on Goodreads, over 400 books that I want to read. I'm never going to get to all of them. Most of those 400 and some books, though, I am never going to own. Won't need to own, won't want to own, but I'm interested in them enough that I would like to remember that they exist if I suddenly want to read about Victorian death rituals, or I suddenly wanted to get to those really classic sci-fi books. So the fact that these are two reads for these booktubers that are so imminent to reads that they purchased them, that means that these are like the top of the top books on their to read list. These are books of value. These are books that ought to be read. There's something about a book haul, or a haul in general, that's intimate. If you think about it, if you go out to the mall and splurge a little bit and you come back home, you live with a significant other or a roommate or your parents, you might say, "Hey mom, dad, hey Sally, hey Brendan, look at what I got. Let me show you. I'm super excited." But you would never go to recent acquaintance and do the same thing. So the fact that these booktubers are sharing these purchases with you, it kind of implies that you are a familiar part of their life, that you are someone that they can share this really personal experience with. Whereas book reviews, instance, are really impersonal. This booktuber is talking at you about something that they have themselves experienced. Perhaps you've read it as well, but most of the time, probably not, and they're just talking at you. There's really no two-way discussion like what can happen with book hauls. I find that a lot of times people are really interested to comment and say, "Oh, that looks so great," or "Oh, I really want to buy that now too," or "Wow, you have a really eclectic taste," where there's not so much of that discussion that happens on a book review, unless someone has read it themselves and really wants to discuss with the booktuber. But on my channel, at least, my book haul videos are the most watched and probably the most commented on videos that I have up there. I don't get many comments, but book hauls generally do have a lot of comments, but they certainly have a lot of reviews. And every time I upload a book haul, I get a handful more of subscribers. So there's something about book hauls that draws a lot of people in, and gets people talking. Book hauls also make hauling seem normal. The more book hauls I watch, the more I think that I'm allowed to buy books, or that the purchases I've previously made weren't ultra consumerist, weren't ridiculous, weren't out of the question. It normalizes the buying behavior. And a lot of people, myself included, as I said, have an issue with being typecast as a consumer whore, try not to be a consumer, and yet I really adore buying books, I really adore owning them, and there's that weird juxtaposition, that disconnect between I want to own books, I don't want to be a consumer, and when you see other people doing the same thing, people that maybe you respect, people that you enjoy watching, people you might want to be friends with, if that were at all possible, you see them doing the same thing, you start to feel that you're normal, you're not a weirdo, you're okay. Jumping off of that, book haul videos. I love watching them, I enjoy making them, but I feel super guilty about buying books. I feel quite guilty about buying things, not in general, just books really. And it's something I struggle with. One half of me says, you are an adult who's responsible financially, you are earning a living, you are spending not nearly as much as you make, you don't buy ridiculous quantities and costs of books. Allow yourself to have these things, allow yourself to treat yourself, you're fine. Stop tearing yourself up for no reason. And then there's the other side that is like, oh, I just spent money. Did I need those things? Do I really need more? Oh my gosh. Like, I'm not going to get to them anytime soon. Like, why did I just do that? I didn't need to do that. I have books on my shelves. I have a ridiculously long TBR already. Why did I add more pressure? Why did I add more things? I don't need more things. Why are there more things? Even though there are things I really enjoy, reading, experiencing, touching, looking, smelling, seeing, having. I love the visual catalog as much as Goodreads is a really great tool for me. I love looking at my shelves. Sometimes when I'm feeling down, depressed, or tired, I'll just sit there and look at my bookshelves. Each spine represents a possibility. A possible new exciting world, a possible new favorite book, a possible lovely experience. And just looking at them calms me down and makes me feel a bit better. So obviously, owning books, it's not a problem. In fact, owning books is a really awesome thing to own. If you're going to collect anything, then collecting books that give you hours of pleasure, that give you knowledge. It's a lot better than teaspoons or shot glasses, right? And I know some of you are thinking, well, why don't you just borrow the books from the library? Why do you have to buy them? Whenever I have read a book from the library and loved it, I've regretted the fact that I hadn't bought it beforehand, because I really like the idea that books are my own, that I have touched these pages, that these are the pages that my eyes looked at. If I loved a book so much after borrowing it that I go and buy myself a copy, it's really weird for me that that book is on the shelf. I have read that story, but I haven't read that specific book. It's not my book yet, even though I own it. There's a disconnect between that physical object now and the story that I experienced and loved. I love reading a story and writing my name in it. I love finding names in books and thinking, who were you, Duncan Williams? Did you enjoy this book? Did you actually read it, or did you just put your name in it? I love leaving my name behind in things that I give away or things that I keep to say, I was here. I existed. I am a person. I read this, and my hands touched these pages that you're holding. Or my little 9-year-old hands touched these pages when they read this book 10 years ago. I also, as I said, love the visual reminder that I have these things to read. I never get to things if I'm going to get them out of the library. I never do. I love using my library for DVDs, TV shows, comic books, CDs, any short form sort of consumption. But I feel really constricted by the 3-week lending period. I wholly believe that books have a time and place in your life, and if you can read them right when you need them, it's perfect. And some books, if you're reading it and it's not working, put it down. Maybe you're not there yet. Maybe you need 6 months more time before you're at a point where this book is just going to be perfect for you. I really don't like the idea of forcing myself to read something because I have, a deadline outside of myself, and I don't want to waste having checked it out, but I'm not enjoying it. So I really don't like borrowing books from the library. So book hauls. Why do you think we keep making them? Why do you think we keep watching them? I just want to understand this phenomenon that is so tied in with consumerism, but somehow to me feels a lot more free and innocent than that. And I really want to understand why I do what I do. And I think my brain has run out of ways to process what's going on, so I would really love some feedback from you guys. Thank you for watching and spending this time listening to me ramble about something I don't understand. And until next time, continue to be lovely.